Hi, everyone, and welcome to yet another news bulletin. My name is Oscar. I'm working in the Dutch GMS team, Google Marketing Solutions team. Today I'm here by myself because Alexandra is on a business trip to Belgium, but I'm very happy to take over. A quick summary of what I'm going to discuss today. So I'm going to start off with the holiday shopper. So the holiday season is coming up. I'm going to give you guys an overview of what to look for, especially in your audience strategy, and how we can use audiences on Google Ads to best make use of in your campaigns. Also want to highlight a case study of Vavavoom, which is a fashion retailer that enjoyed a huge ROAS increase with TrueView for Action on YouTube. And I want to end the session with some product updates. So there's quite some important product updates. I think the most important one is Google Optimize, which I will talk you guys through, which is a slimmed down and free version of Google Optimize 360. So it's very interesting to check out. Some promotion extensions that have been launched for 25 new locations, and ad suggestions that are now also available for 25 new languages. And we will finish with a Q&A. So this is a live stream, so if you have any questions, feel free to put them next to the YouTube video, and I will answer them afterwards if I can. So yeah, I'm looking at the questions, and feel free to ask anything. But first off, very important news, actually. Google is a teenager no more. We are no teenagers anymore. So yeah, last week Google turned 20. Great milestone. And we have a very nice a blog post on our blog, which is www.blog.google. It's a really cool blog post with a summary of the last 20 years and some great highlights of what we've been through as a company. And it's also a big celebration here at the office. I saw a lot of cupcakes coming by, balloons, and I think there's going to be a party. So it's really, really nice. And check out the blog post. It will give you a great overview of the last 20 years and yeah, a nice summary of Google search. So let's start off with audiences. It's time to get into the holiday spirits, and I'll tell you why. So we've been seeing in 2017 that 86% of all holiday shoppers were influenced by digital. So this was last year. This means that 86% of all customer purchases during the shopping season were either influenced through online websites or online advertising. So it's very important, as you might already probably know, to be present online. And 1 in 2 people were undecided on what brands to buy when they were shopping last season, when they started shopping. And I think this shows that there's a great opportunity for display on YouTube, for upper funnel marketing solutions. There's a big chunk of people out there who are in this orientation stage when purchasing for Christmas and for the holidays, but are not really sure yet which brand they want to buy for. So use display, use YouTube to reach these more upper funnel people and get them interested in your specific brand. And more about how to do that later in the presentation. Another great finding is that consumers pay 3 times more attention to ads that are relevant to them versus the average. With this, we mean obviously ads that were targeted to people based on custom intent audiences, affinity audiences, or marketing audiences. Obviously, the better you cater your message to the right audiences, the more attention they will have. And campaigns that use Google intent signals are delivering on average 20% higher ad recall lifts and 50% higher brand awareness lifts relative to campaigns that only use demographic targeting. So you can really see again here that using intent signals, either through custom intent audiences in markets or affinity audiences, really can increase your brand favorability, your brand recall and brand awareness. So digging in a bit deeper, just a quick overview of how Google decides on who to put in an in-market audience. So I think the coming season, so Christmas, New Year, is a great opportunity for a lot of people to go a bit more upper funnel and to kind of make your brand, make your product knowledgeable to your target audiences. For example, through using in-market audiences. An example is, for example, in market people who are interested in electronics. But how does Google finds these audiences? So Google looks at user signals across all Google properties. So for example, Google Search, but also YouTube, Android, the Play Store. And based on that, it finds tries to understand the unique behaviors and characteristics of these audiences. So this is an example for people who might be interested in buying electronics, or people who might be interested in buying a phone. So a search that this person may have done on Google Search is searching for the best phones for Christmas. This person might have watched an electronics review for YouTube. He might have installed a comparison app comparing different electronics or prices, and he might have searched on Google Search for an electronic store. So what Google does is it gets all these signals and it tries to find like a pattern in these, and tries to then classify them in a specific in-market audience. But then we also validate this data. So we validate it through surveys, behavioral surveys. And these surveys will be sent out literally asking, hey, are you at the moment interested in buying a phone for the holiday season? And through the answers of these surveys, we validate whether the machine learning was correct. And then we can extrapolate this data and say, okay, with a 95%, for example, a confidence interval, we can say that these people are in this in-markets. And then this is the way that we validate these in-market audiences. So definitely a great way to target your campaigns. Zooming in a bit more about YouTube, I think YouTube is a great tool, not only to, it has a lot of audience types that you can use with YouTube, and it's not only a great tool for upper funnel, but also for lower funnel. And I will give you guys an example later in this presentation about a company who made great use of a lower funnel YouTube strategy. But you can use YouTube for awareness, consideration, and also action. So awareness is more engaging people who are still undecided about which brand to buy, but you can also use it for more action-oriented campaigns. So for example, driving a higher intent audiences and really try to get them to purchase your products. Some examples of how you can target a YouTube campaign are, for example, demographics. So for example, we have a demographic that you can target only parents. Just an example. You can also target on age. You can also target on gender. You can also target on location, of course, geographic location. Another way to target your YouTube campaigns is through affinity. So affinity is people who have been searching about a specific topic for a longer period of time. So examples are bargain hunters, value shoppers, luxury shoppers, shopaholics. These are just general kind of people who have been showing consistent searches through the signals that we collect, which I also talked about earlier. And through these signals, we see, okay, they are in a specific affinity audience. And the last one is in market and consumer patterns, which is a bit more people who are really in a very short amount of time showed a lot of interest in really purchasing a product. So they are very action driven, and they're really in this action stage. So this might be, for example, people who are interested in buying children's products, apparel and accessories, or people who might frequently visit department stores. Another one that I really like personally is custom intent for YouTube, which is now also available for YouTube, in which you can really target a YouTube campaign to people who are who have searched for specific keywords on Google Search. So for example, if I'm a mobile phone manufacturer of a specific brand and I want to show a YouTube campaign to people who have been searching for mobile phones in the past period but haven't purchased a phone yet, then I could use the custom intent audience, and then I can put in the keywords such as my brands, competitors' brands of mobile phones, or just the words mobile phones in general. And then I will target my YouTube campaign to these keywords, or to people who have searched these keywords on Google Search. I think that's a great one. So to summarize, YouTube can be used for a lot of different stages actually in the consumer journey. You can use it for reach, to drive awareness, or use it for more action-oriented audiences to really drive up your conversions. In general, reach means that you have more reach, of course, but a little less performance. And action is generally less reach. So you target it really focused on a specific portion of your audience who are really in the action stage, but the performance will be better in general. Zooming in a little bit on the custom intent audiences, which I talked about before. So I just want to sketch like what is the best way to set up a custom intent audience. So let's say you have your search campaigns in place, and now you want to create a display or a video campaign targeted with a custom intent audience. So what I would do is I would look at your current search campaigns and look at and go to your keywords and look at the keywords that in the past have received the most clicks or conversions, so that have basically performed the best. What you can do is you can download these keywords, put them in an Excel file, and then you can copy and paste them again in the in your audience of your custom intent audience. And then you have basically a custom intent audience with your best keywords. So you know that you're targeting the right people. What is also very important is to not just make one very broad or general custom intent audience, but I would really try to be as specific as possible and try to portion it into specific categories. So for example, a branded custom intent audience versus a product custom intent audience, or for example, different custom intent audiences for different products. And then you can also tailor the message in the ad specifically towards that product. So let's say that I sell products A, B, and C. Don't just put them on one custom intent audience, but make 3 custom intent audiences and then make sure that each and every ad of every campaign tailors specifically towards that product. Ooh. All right. There goes my microphone. I think it's back on. All right, all good, thanks. So yeah, that's the best way to do it. In general, you see that the more you kind of narrow it down in specific audiences, the better your performance will be. Just another reminder is that the holidays are not just about gifts, but also the food and entertainment industries can really benefit from this season. We just see that Q4 is overall a very important season for a lot of industries. Because we saw that 42% of 25 to 44-year-olds will be using their smartphone to search for recipes online. And we saw that in 2016, 30 billion people, there were 30 billion views of food-related content watched on YouTube, which was a 50% increase year over year. So if you're in the food industry, try to really tap into that market as well, as we expect a huge uplift again in 2018. So as I mentioned before, I just wanted to talk about Vavavoom, which is a great example of a company who used TrueView for Action campaigns for YouTube. So just some context, it is a fashion retailer with a broad range and no particular USP. And they were in a very competitive market, and they were finding it quite difficult to stand out and to really have a clear message. They were available for delivery in 120 countries, and their target was to create a market return on ad spend, so a ROAS of 10 to 1. So what did they do? They set up a TrueView for Action campaign with target CPA bidding strategy. And if you may not know, TrueView for Action, obviously, it has it allows you to also create a call to action on the YouTube video. So for example, view our collection here, or like click here to see your collection. And thereby it really tries to get the person to click through on the website, and it's more action oriented. And they use this in combination with custom intent audiences and in-market audiences. And the result was that they had over 300,000 interactions in just 11 weeks, and the ROAS was 1,409%. So they overachieved their targets by far. I think this is just a great example of a company. It's just a great example to see that TrueView for Action for YouTube can really drive also a very good ROAS. It's not just an upper funnel tool, and YouTube can really be used also for lower funnel and for more performance driven campaigns, because as you can see, the ROAS was incredible. And just a quote as well to underline this from the director of Vavoom, using the new TrueView for Action video campaign type, we drove a substantial amount of sales with an impressive ROAS. So a great example. So if you haven't tried out TrueView for Action yet on YouTube, definitely I would recommend you to try it out, as it may also generate you a lot of conversions. So on to the product updates. There are 3 major product updates that I would like to discuss. And I would like to first start off with Google Optimize. Google Optimize is basically a slimmed down version of Google Optimize 360, which is already available. But this one was just launched and it's free, so it's really great and to check out. And basically what you can do with Google Optimize is to test and personalize your site messaging. And to really try and test several ways in which you can set up your website. How does it work? So this is just an overview of your customer journey. So of course, you start with everyone. Then you can use Google Analytics to find the right target audience. To just see, okay, who is interested in my product, who is purchasing the most, okay, that's my target audience. Then you can get them to your website through Google Ads, of course, but then how do you make sure that the people who have clicked through on Google Ads and who are on your website, how do you make sure that they actually convert? And this is where Google Optimize comes in. And it basically allows you to test different versions of your website and see which website version works best with your target audience in order to make them convert. A great example of a company who uses Google Optimize is Booking. Their utilization of A/B testing drives conversion values to 2 to 3 times the industry average. Just a good example of a company that really knows how it works and really uses it to their advantage. So again, an easy way to test on-site messaging to find what works and to deploy a targeted experience to important customer groups. What I think is very interesting is that you can not only just A/B test your website, but you can also A/B test your website towards a specific audience. So what I think, for example, is a great way to do this is an example could be to check your all converters audience, so the people who have already converted. And towards them, check, for example, whether a generic website works better for them or a website in which you show mainly cross and upsell products, and see where the conversion value will be most. Or, for example, let's say that you have a very broad audience, but you want to test, let's say that you're a fashion retailer and you have a very broad range of products, but you want to test for women from the age of 25 to 40, whether the general woman's page works better for them or a woman's fashion page with specific brands. And this way you can really try to make your website as personalized as possible for your specific audiences, and thereby increase conversion rates. So how does it work? 4 simple steps to start an experiment on Google Optimize. First of all, using the visual editor to easily create different site variants. So it's a drag and drop kind of very easy way to make different versions of your website. And you can really visually edit them and see already what you see is what you get, basically. You can select your experiment goals and objectives. So, for example, my goal is to generate as many conversions as possible or an X amount of ROAS. And then you can target your tests and experiences using analytics automatically or through data layer or JavaScript, but you can also do it through analytics. You can just say, okay, I want to target this experiment specifically towards all converters or specifically towards women from the age of 25 to 40. And then you're done. You set your experiment live and start to collect data via analytics. And it gives you a really nice report where you can basically compare the 2 results. And that way, see what works best. So I think overall, great launch. The Optimize 360 has more options, but if you're new to this, it could be a really great way to just test it and see what you can get out of it. I think it is a really good way to think about your full funnel strategy. Of course, with Google Ads to get people to your website, but I think Google Optimize gives you this last step of the funnel, which is to really make sure that people convert on your website. So I think if you really want to approach the full funnel strategy, I think it's a very crucial step to also experiment with. Moving on to promotion extensions. So 25 new labels have been launched. Promotion extensions have obviously been around for a while now. However, there's occasion labels, which are basically labels next to your promotion extension that just indicate the time period about which the promotion is. So for example, this is a Black Friday promotion, or this is a Christmas promotion. And some labels are only available during specific times of the year. So for example, as you can see, Carnival. People in the Netherlands celebrate Carnival quite excessively, so that one is only available from February 1st until March 31st. Of course, because that's the Carnival period. So if you are a outfit retailer, this could be a very, very relevant one for you. An example of an occasion label is this one. For Black Friday. So as you can see the label here at the bottom left corner. It just indicates that it's about Black Friday, and I think if you're a Google search user, it just makes it much more clear like what the promotion is about and what the promotion is for. And I just think it gives people a clear indication of until when they can expect this promotion to take place. Also for yourself, it's a great way to just label and categorize your promotion extensions and to quickly turn on or turn off specific promotions during specific periods of the year. Cool. Last product update are the ad suggestions. They have been launched for 5 additional languages. So they were already available in English, Spanish, Portuguese, German, Italian, French, Dutch, Finnish, and Norwegian. And now they've also been launched for Danish, Japanese, Polish, Russian, and Swedish. Quick recap, how do ad suggestions work? Basically, machine learning looks at your existing ads, looks at which headlines work best, which descriptions work best, and then Google AdWords automatically surfaces suggestions based on machine learnings, but also on human review, on which it expects and just creates ads in which it expects to have a better performance than your current ads. And it is up to you to review these. You can review them within the 14 days time frame. If you don't reject them or accept them within 14 days, they will automatically be accepted. So make sure that you check them quite regularly, and also make sure that you link your correct email address to your Google Ads account, because you will also get automatic email notifications of when a new ad suggestion pops up. Where can you find your ad suggestions in Google Ads? You can see that here below. So step 1 is to click on your recommendations tab in your left-hand side menu. Then you check for the ad suggestions card, and then you click on view your recommendations, and there you can see them all. So make sure to check them, or as I said before, to have the right email address in place to so you can get the automatic notifications as well. Cool. So that was it. Let's see if we have any questions. All right. I don't see any as of now, so I think that everything was clear. So that's a good sign. Cool. So we will be here again in 2 weeks, where we will also dive deeper again into audiences, but with more practical applications of it. Alexander will be here as well, so that's great. And I want to thank you all for watching, and see you again in 2 weeks. Ciao.